Sri Gokarna is a sacred place of Puranak importance situated on the extreme north of Kerala. There was once on the banks of the river Tungabhadra, a village made sacred and prosperous by the Brahmins who lived there. In that village, lived a noble Brahmin named Atma Deva. His wife was a quarrelsome woman named Dhundhuli. Even after many years of married life, they had no children, and Atma Deva, greatly grief-stricken, left his home and went to the forests. He was sitting on the shore of a lake after quenching his thirst from it when a sannyasi came that way. Atma Deva told him about his domestic life and pleaded that he should suggest a way to get a son for him. The sannyasi sat in meditation for some time and contemplated on the horoscope of Atma Deva and regretfully informed him that according to his horoscope, he was to have no children for 7 successive births. He, therefore, advised Atma Deva to abandon all his worldly pleasures and accept sannyasa for the rest of his life. But Atma Deva was not to be discouraged by this prophecy, and he urged the sannyasi to help him, somehow, to get a child. The sannyasi, then, gave him a fruit and asked him to give it to his wife and ask her to observe a life of fasting for a period of 1 year. Greatly pleased with this boon, Atma Deva returned to his house and told his wife all that had happened and gave her the fruit. She liked to eat the fruit, but years fasting seemed troublesome to her. She was thinking of how to get over this difficulty when her younger sister came to her and suggested a plan. She said, "Sister, I am pregnant. I shall give you the child I deliver. You can declare it as your child and make your husband believe so. You can announce in public that you have eaten the fruit and have, consequently, become pregnant. We can, to test its merit, give the fruit to a cow." Dhundhuli liked the plan very much and so did everything like that. The news that Dhundhuli was pregnant spread in the city. Very soon her sister gave birth to a child, and that child was proclaimed as the child of Dhundhuli. On the pretext that Dhundhuli was short of breast milk, her sister started doing the breastfeeding. The child was named Dhundhukari. After 3 months, the cow that ate the fruit delivered a child. The ear of the child was like that of a cow, and so he was called Sri Gokarna. Dhundhukari and Sri Gokarna grew together. Dhundhukari became a very evil-natured boy while Sri Gokarna grew into a scholarly one. Dhundhukari, who was the very seat of everything bad, made the life of their parents wretched, and the disappointed Atma Deva renounced all and went to the forests and did penance and attained moksha, liberation from rebirth or sansara. Unable to bear the torture by her son, Dhundhuli committed suicide by jumping into a well. Sri Gokarna started on a pilgrimage. Dhundhukari lived in his own house surrounded by prostitutes. Thieving was his only means of livelihood. Knowing this, the servants of the king started to capture Dhundhukari and the prostitutes who lived with him, for their safety, bound Dhundhukari with ropes and put him into fire and killed him. The soul of Dhundhukari became a great phantom. Hearing the news of the death of his brother, Sri Gokarna returned home. He conducted a Shraddha ceremony performed to pay homage to departed soul, at Gaya to give peace to the soul of his departed brother. But the phantom of Dhundhukari was not pacified. This phantom troubled him always. Sri Gokarna was not afraid of it and asked him what he wanted, and the phantom pleaded that in some way Sri Gokarna should get him absolved of all his sins. Sri Gokarna then consulted Pandits to know what method should be adopted to save a soul which could not be saved even by a Gaya Shraddha. The Pandits advised him to do penance to propitiate the Sri Surya Deva. The Sri Surya, who appeared before Sri Gokarna as a result of his penance, declared that if he did read the entire Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days, Dhundhukari would get moksha. So, Sri Gokarna performed a saptaha, and among those who assembled to hear it was the phantom of Dhundhukari also. The phantom, finding no place to sit, crept into a 7-layered bamboo and sat there listening to Sri Gokarna. When the first day was over, the first layer broke, and it went on like that every day, and on the seventh day the seventh layer broke, and when Sri Gokarna finished the 12th skanda, the phantom rose from the bamboo to heaven. When it was going to heaven, it looked at Sri Gokarna and told him that his moksha was due to the result of his hearing the Saptaha reading. When Sri Gokarna asked him why none of the others who heard it got it, he said that it was because none had heard it with such rapt attention as he had done. Sri Gokarna then conducted another reading of Saptaha, and the people present heard the same with rapt attention. When the reading was over, a chariot of Sri Vishnu from Sri Vaikuntha descended and carried away all those who heard the reading. The place where Sri Gokarna sat and read the Saptaha became known later as the famous Sri Gokarna. Chapters 1-3, Bhagavata Mahatmya. Brahmana Purana gives a story associating Gokarna with the origin of Kerala. By the request of Sri Bhagirath, the river Ganga Mata fell on earth and flowing as different brooks emptied its waters in the ocean. The level of the water in the ocean went up, and the temple of Gokarna and the land of Kerala were submerged in waters. The sages who were in the temple somehow escaped and took refuge on the mountain Sahya. Sri Parashurma was doing penance there then, and the sages went to him and told him of their plight. Sri Parashurma went and stood in Gokarna and threw an axe to the south. All the land from Gokarna up to the place where the axe fell rose up from the ocean to form a piece of land which was named Kerala. Chapter 97 of Brahmana Purana.